Hi all, welcome to the channel, welcome to the workshop. So today we're carrying on with our Mallard build with issue 32. We are continuing on with the tender chassis and a few parts on from what we did last week. So let's get into it, let's get building. So here we are, issue 32 of the Mallard. And as you can see, we are still working on the lower chassis. And we've got part of the water scoop that we're going to be assembling, along with various rods and controls for that. And then by the time we're finished, we'll have something that looks a bit like this, with the water scoop in place. And we've got classic locomotives, and we've got great railway journeys today. Right, so I'll just go through the parts. So we've got these parts for the water scoop. We have had to retrieve a couple of bits from previous issues. So we've got that from issue 31. We've got this tiny piece from issue 30 that we assembled. We need the 0.5mm wire from the previous issues as well. We've also got this 1.6mm brass rod. It's given us 40mm of it. I have already cut that up as per the instructions that are required. So we've got an 11mm piece and an 8mm piece, and then we've got a spare bit left over. I have pre-drilled these as well, just to make assembly a little bit quicker for the video. So as per usual, the first thing we do, we clean up all the parts. So I've already done that. So they are all perfect. And we would be now drilling two 0.7mm holes in here. Sorry, 0.5mm holes in here and a 0.7mm hole just in the end here. And then we need to turn our attention to the lower part of the chassis. And we put this rod in last time. It has got slightly bent, but that should straighten itself out. And we just need to make sure this brass rod does fit between these holes. And what we're going to do is we're going to just capture the end of this rod. It's very much a job where you seem to need free hands. So just put that one on the end of that rod. We're going to follow that with putting this one on, and we're doing it this way around. So just holding that rod and slotting that on, and then getting it to go through that last loop, like so. So we've looking just like that. Now we are going to be gluing this side, but not this one at this moment. So I'm just going to slide this over to where it needs to be. Hopefully without moving the rod too much. So we've got that one in place. So just putting a dot of glue just on the end of that rod. And going to do the same just here. Ensure that's in place. Just like that. We're then going to take our slightly longer piece of tubing or rod, and we're going to be capturing that one into these brackets here. And as well as doing that, we will be capturing this piece as well. So just going to slot that one in there. Like so. I'll say this might need a little bit of a bend to get that to go in as well. So we've got that one captured in just like that. And then we have this lever, which is going to go this way up. That's just going to sit on there like so. Push that rod all the way through now. So that's now in there like so. I'm just going to position these rods and then we'll put some glue on them. So just going to glue this one in place. Now going to turn our attention to the water scoop itself. And that's going to go into that hole. We've got just a peg there. You might need to just open that hole up a little bit. Right, so that now fits in there perfectly. And we're going to place it that way around, and we're going to just glue that in place as well. Just going to put some glue around the peg as well. We're now going to take our 0.5mm wire, and we need to make a couple of bends in this and make a couple of little stays for this water scoop. And we just need to bend one with a bit of a 45 maybe degree angle on it, and that stay is going to go through the hole we had here, and it's going to meet up to this little section here. Right, so we've got that one passing through there, and we do have a hole just here in the chassis, and that's where that piece is going to land. So I might just need to bend this ever so slightly more just to get that to go in that hole. Then we've got this one going in here. Now this one's got a bit of a dog leg in it to avoid the mechanisms here, but it is going into the same hole that you see at the bottom here. Just like that. And again, just going to secure that with a little bit of glue. Right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to attach the scoop itself, whilst also making sure that this little bracket, the lever, flips over and goes into the hole we have just here. And that's going to sit just about there. So we need to make sure all this lines up, and then we glue it in place, which sounds a lot easier than I reckon it's going to be. Right, so this is going to be a little bit tricky to do. Need this link handle to go into here. Whilst also making sure this sits in the right place. It'll be something like that. So I'm going to drop a bit of glue into that link handle. As well as the scoop itself. I have to say that's more balancing there than anything else at the minute. But I'm just going to slightly reposition it, and then just run some glue down the edges. Which will then start holding that in place. And the one last thing we need to do is we just need to cut off these two stays, just leaving enough to effectively mimic some bolt detail. Like so. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please remember giving a big thumbs up. So that's a little bit more work done on the tender chassis. Looking pretty good. I'm not going to pick it up because that scoop is probably more fragile than I'd like it to be at the moment. So the glue is still setting on that, but I probably will add a little bit more at a later stage. We've got a couple of spare parts left over, so they'll go safely in the box for maybe next time when we actually need them. But if you want to see more of how Mallard progresses or anything else that goes on in the workshop, please do remember to hit the subscribe button and ding that bell, and then you'll be notified when I release future videos. Until the next time, I'll see you around. Cheers.